Welcome back, boys and girls. Are you ready for Chapter 5 of Willy Wonka? Let's stop and think about what we have read so far. Well, we know Charlie is our main character. We know that he's very poor. We know that he loves chocolate, that he lives near the most fabulous chocolate factory in the world, and it looks like the factory is about to be opened at last. Let's read Chapter 5, The Golden Tickets. You mean people are actually going to be allowed to go inside the factory? Grandpa Joe? Read us what it says, quickly. All right, said Mr. Bucket, smoothing out the newspaper. Listen. Evening Bulletin. Mr. Willy Wonka, the candy-making genius, whom nobody has seen for the last 10 years, sent out the following notice today. I, Willy Wonka, have decided to allow 5 children, just 5, mind you, and no more, to visit my factory this year. These lucky 5 will be shown around, personally, by me, and they will be allowed to see all the secrets and the magic of my factory. Then, at the end of the tour, as a special present, all of them will be given enough chocolates and candies to last them the rest of their lives. So watch out for those golden tickets. 5 golden tickets have been printed on golden paper, and these 5 golden tickets have been hidden underneath the ordinary wrapping paper of 5 ordinary candy bars. These 5 candy bars may be anywhere, in any shop, in any street, in any town, in any country in the world, upon any counter where Wonka's candies are sold. And the 5 lucky finders of these 5 golden tickets are the only ones who will be allowed to visit my factory and see what it's like inside. Good luck to you all, and happy hunting. Signed, Willy Wonka. Wow, that sounds exciting, doesn't it? The man's dotty, muttered Grandma Josephine. He's brilliant, cried Grandpa Joe. He's a magician. Just imagine what will happen now. The whole world will be searching for those golden tickets. Everyone will be buying Wonka's candy bars in the hope of finding one. He'll sell more than ever before. Oh, how exciting it would be to find one. And all the chocolate and candies that you could eat for the rest of your life for free, said Grandpa George. Just imagine that. They'd have to deliver them in a truck, said Grandma Georgina. It makes me quite ill to think of it, said Grandma Josephine. Nonsense, cried Grandpa Joe. Wouldn't it be something, Charlie, to open up a bar of candy and see a golden ticket glistening inside? It certainly would, Grandpa, but there isn't a hope, Charlie said sadly. I only get 1 bar a year. You never know, darling, said Grandma Georgina. It's your birthday next week. You have as much chance as anybody else. I'm afraid that simply isn't true, said Grandpa George. The kids who are going to find the golden tickets are the ones who can afford to buy candy bars every day. Our Charlie gets only 1 a year. There isn't a hope. Poor Charlie. If he only gets 1 bar a year, and there's millions of people in the world, and millions of people are buying 10, 20 candy bars at a time, does Charlie have a chance? I don't know. That's a little math question you could figure out. Maybe you could email Mrs. Harling and figure it out if he's got a chance or an equal chance as everybody else. I don't know. How about Chapter 6? The first 2 finders. Aren't you curious to see who the first 2 finders are? I know I am. The very next day, the first golden ticket was found. The finder was a boy named Augustus Gloop, and Mr. Bucket's evening newspaper carried a large picture of him on the front page. The picture showed a 9-year-old boy who was so enormous he looked as though he had been blown up with a powerful pump. Great folds of fat bulged out from every part of his body, and his face was like a monstrous ball of dough, with 2 little greedy eyes peering out upon the world. The town in which Augustus Gloop lived, the newspaper said, had gone wild with excitement over their hero. Flags flying from all the windows, children had been given a holiday from school, and a parade was being organized in honor of this famous youth. "I just knew Augustus would find a golden ticket," his mother had told the newspapermen. "He eats so many candy bars a day that it was almost impossible for him not to find one. Eating is his hobby, you know. That's all he's interested in. But still, that's better than being a bully. Now, isn't it? And what I always say is, he wouldn't go on eating like this unless he needed nourishment. It's all vitamins anyway. What a thrill it will be for him to visit Mr. Wonka's marvelous factory. We are just as proud as could be." "Ugh, what a revolting woman," said Grandma Josephine. "Ugh, what a repulsive boy," said Grandma Georgina. Can you figure out what revolting and repulsive means by thinking of the clues that the author gives you about the character? What do you think? You could email me your answer. "Only 4 golden tickets left," said Grandpa George. "I wonder who'll get those." And now the whole country, indeed the whole world, seems suddenly to be caught up in a candy-buying spree. Everybody searching frantically for those precious remaining tickets. Finally, grown women were seen going into sweet shops and buying 10 Wonka bars at a time, then tearing off the wrappers on the spot and looking eagerly underneath for a glint of golden paper. Children were taking hammers and smashing their piggy banks and running out to the shops with handfuls of money. In one city, a famous gangster robbed a bank of $5,000 and spent the whole lot of it on candy bars that afternoon. And when the police entered the house to arrest him, they found him sitting on the floor amidst mountains of candy, ripping off the wrappers with the blade of a long dagger. In far-off Russia, a woman called Charlotte Roos claimed to have found the 2nd golden ticket, but it turned out to be a clever fake. In England, the famous scientist Professor Foulbody invented a machine which would tell you at once, without opening the wrapper of a candy bar, whether or not there was a golden ticket hidden underneath it. The machine had a mechanical arm that shot out with tremendous force and grabbed hold of anything that had the slightest bit of gold in it. And for a moment, it looked like the answer to everything. But unfortunately, while the professor was showing off the machine to the public at the candy counter of a large department store, the mechanical arm shot out and made a grab for the gold filling in the back tooth of the Duchess, who was standing nearby. There was an ugly scene, and the machines were smashed by the crowd. Suddenly, on the day before Charlie Bucket's birthday, the newspapers announced the 2nd golden ticket had been found. The lucky person was a small girl called Veruca Salt, who lived with her rich parents in the great city far away. Boys and girls, do you know what a Veruca is? Maybe that's something you could look up in the dictionary if you have one, or maybe you could Google it, and then maybe you'll realize why the author named this character Veruca. Veruca Salt lived with her rich parents in a great city far away. Once again, Mr. Bucket's evening newspaper carried a big picture of the finder. She was sitting between her beaming father and mother in the living room of their house, waving the golden ticket above her head and grinning from ear to ear. Veruca's father, Mr. Salt, had eagerly explained to the newspapermen exactly how the ticket was found. "Well, you see, fellas," he said, "as soon as my little girl told me that she simply had to have one of these golden tickets, I went out into the town and I started buying up all the Wonka bars that I could find. Thousands of them I must have bought. Hundreds of thousands. Then I had them loaded onto the trucks and sent directly to my own factory. I'm in the peanut business, you see, and I've got about 100 women working for me over at my place, shelling peanuts for roasting and salting. That's what they do all day long. These women, they sit there shelling the peanuts. So I says to them, okay, girls, I says, from now on, you can stop shelling peanuts and start shelling the wrappers off those crazy Wonka bars. And they did. I had every worker in the place yanking the paper off those bars of chocolate, full speed ahead, from morning till night. But 3 days went by and we had no luck. Oh, it was terrible. My little Veruca got more and more upset each day, and every time I went home, she would scream at me. Excuse me. Where's my golden ticket? I want my golden ticket. And she would lie for hours on the floor, kicking and screaming and yelling. Well, sir, I just hated to see my little girl feeling so unhappy like that. So I vowed I would keep up the search until I got her what she wanted. And then suddenly, on the evening of the 4th day, one of my women workers yelled out, I've got it, the golden ticket. And I said, give it to me quick. And she did. And I rushed it home and gave it to my darling Veruca. And now she's all smiles. And we have a happy home once again. Ugh, that's even worse than the Augustus boy, said Grandma Josephine. She needs a real good spanking, said Grandma Georgina. I don't think that girl's father played it quite fair, Grandpa. Do you? Charlie murmured. He spoils her, Grandpa Joe said. And no good can come from spoiling a child like that, Charlie. You mark my words. Come to bed, my darling, said Charlie's mother. Tomorrow's your birthday. Don't forget that. So I expect you'll be up early to open your present. A Wonka bar? Cried Charlie. Is it a Wonka bar? Is it? Yes, my love, said his mother. Of course it is. Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful if I found the 3rd golden ticket inside? Charlie said. Bring it in here when you get it, Grandpa Joe said. Then we could all watch you taking off the wrapper. What do you think? Can you make a prediction? Do you think Charlie's going to find that golden ticket in his 1 birthday bar of chocolate? I don't know. You'll have to stay tuned tomorrow. Tomorrow's chapter is called Charlie's Birthday. Let me know if you figured out what a Veruca is and why you think the author who created the character Veruca calls her Veruca. Hope to hear from you soon. Bye.